Welcome to C-Suite Sherpas, where we shine a spotlight on business experts and resources that you should know. Let's go ahead and dive in and meet today's guest, Christian Espinosa, who's the founder of Blue Goat Cyber. Blue Goat Cyber helps medtech manufacturers achieve two critical outcomes: safer devices and faster FDA clearance. And Christian, of course, as we dive into this, will give you a little more detail on how they actually do that. Christian, welcome. Thrilled to have you here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Ron.
All right, cool. Let's jump right in. So can you give us a snapshot of what your business is and the major outcomes you get from your clients?
Our business, Blue Goat Cyber, we help medical device manufacturers secure their devices from a cybersecurity perspective and ultimately get them approved by the FDA in the United States or whatever regulatory body has to approve a medical device. And these are devices like implantables, surgical robots, in vitro diagnostic, drug infusion pumps, any medical technology with a software component.
Now, are these really hackable? Are people that actually get in and able to exploit these devices?
They historically have been extremely hackable. There's been a lot of recalls for things like pacemakers, defibrillators. In fact, when Dick Cheney was the vice president, he had the wireless capability of his defibrillator disabled because there was a threat. Someone could wirelessly connect to him, his defibrillator, and shock him to death. So yes,
Wow.
these things are very hackable. And most of us don't think about this every day. We just assume medical technology is secure, but it's far from secure.
That's something I never thought about. But so really your services are aimed at purely med tech device providers, right?
That is our niche. Yeah, a lot of the same skills because we hack into the medical devices to make sure they're secure. A lot of those same skills apply to other industries as well, but our focus is really on medical device cybersecurity.
Are there any examples where and you don't have to name the clients, but where you've actually been able to catch issues with a client's device and really save them from doing something that was a risk, let's say?
Pretty much with every client, we find vulnerabilities and we help them fix the flaws. One of the recent ones is a device that you typically see at a med spa. It's used to treat acne. It's a laser that treats acne on your face and it cools at the same time. We were able to hack into that device and basically turn off the cooling mechanism so you could burn somebody severely with the laser. So that's just one example. But we've told them how to fix it, obviously. Our goal is to make sure these devices stay on the market, they're not recalled, and they help further healthcare for people in need.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you don't have to give it anything proprietary way, but it sounds like you have a process by which you go about doing this. Can you describe that maybe at a high level?
Yeah, we have a very well-defined process because we do full service cybersecurity that includes like 17 deliverables.
Hmm.
Some of these are documentation, such as a threat model, risk assessment, a management plan, and a lot of it is testing as well. So our testing process is iterative. We typically will find things. So we will test the medical device. We try to hack into it. And whatever we find, we report that back to the manufacturer, to their development team, along with how to fix it. They fix it, then we test it again. They fix it and we test it again. And we try to get the risk down to as small as possible because the risk has to be looked at through the lens of if somebody compromises this device, what is the impact to a patient? Because some of these are, like I said, implantables or drug infusion pump where you can increase the flow rate of something. So we have to look at it through the lens of how can this flaw or vulnerability, if exploited, impact a patient. And we do the iterative testing to get it to a low enough risk level where it won't cause harm to a patient.
That's interesting. So what sets you apart from others in your industry that kind of do the same thing? Or are there others that do the same thing?
There are a couple competitors. What sets us apart is we have a partnership approach with our clients. Ideally, we can get in and start working with the clients when they're still designing and developing the product. Unfortunately, a lot of the clients wait to the very end, and we have to bolt on security versus design it in. So we have that partnership, collaborative approach. We also offer unlimited retests. So those iterative testing I talked about, we identify things, they fix it. We identify things, they fix it till we get to an acceptable level. And we have a guarantee. So if somebody works with us and they submit their product to the FDA or the EU MDR in Europe, we guarantee that the cybersecurity portion will make it through. If it doesn't get cleared by the FDA and there's a deficiency that comes back, we will fix that free of charge. And what else sets us apart is we do all this for a fixed fee. We don't have a time and material or scope creep. It's a fixed fee pricing. We've been doing this for 10 years, so we know what it costs. We have a very well-defined process. And the last thing is we have a 100% success rate. So every client we've worked with, their cybersecurity portion of their submission has made it through the regulatory body. We have never received a deficiency response from the regulatory body.
And how are the regulatory capabilities in this area? Are they pretty comprehensive, or do you find they're still catching up with how people might be hacking this stuff?
They just became comprehensive as of September of 2023. That's when the FDA made some big changes. Before then, they were not that comprehensive. So a lot of devices made it on the market with a lot of security flaws because the guidance wasn't as rigorous as it is now.
Well, okay. That's good that they recognized it and fixed it.
Well,
So what?
it's a big deal, right? If someone steals your credit card information,
Yeah.
it's like a minor inconvenience, but if someone hacks into a pacemaker and shocks you to death, it's a lot more impact. So this area requires some rigor and some attention.
Yeah, it's a little more final when they hack into a device that's inside you.
Exactly.
So what's the biggest challenge, let's say your industry is facing, and how are you helping your clients tackle that challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is lack of awareness from a cybersecurity perspective. And that stems from the people designing and developing the product, which are typically engineers or software developers. They don't understand cybersecurity. They're very good at building things for functionality and user interface experience, but they're not good at breaking things because they look at the world through a specific lens. And my team, which are hackers, look at the world through a different lens. We look at how to break into things and how to make it do things it wasn't designed to do. So I think that awareness or lack of awareness is the biggest challenge we have. And we try to educate the team as soon as possible and turn like a software development lifecycle into a secure software development lifecycle where you design cybersecurity into the product versus bolted on at the very end. And we do that with that partnership approach I was referring to earlier.
Okay. So how do you see your field evolving over the next, say, 5 to 10 years? And how are you staying ahead of the curve? And one thing that viewers are always interested in is how is AI impacting, let's say, your industry and what you do?
Yeah, so the industry is evolving from assisted devices like an assisted surgical robot to autonomous robots. And this could be like a surgical robot that performs surgery in your spine, a device that can do dental work. So we're moving towards autonomous devices. And if there is a problem with that device, there's no longer a human involved to interact and turn the device off. It's just going to do its thing. And I think that's the biggest challenge we have in the industry. I live in Phoenix right now, and we have autonomous driving cars here, and I take them all the time. But I also think, what if there's a vulnerability in this car and somebody hacks into it and causes it to speed up to 120 miles an hour, run into a light pole or run off a bridge? They could kill me, right? It's the same concept with these surgical robots or these autonomous systems in the med tech industry. And as far as AI goes, we see AI a lot, especially in like image enhancement. So if you get a traditional MRI or an ultrasound, there's an AI that takes that image and enhances it so a doctor can make a better diagnosis and make a better course of treatment for you. And the challenges with AI or how to protect those models so the AI doesn't get garbage data and then make poor decisions. That's one of the biggest challenges we see with AI. And what we're doing about this is we stay on top of the industry. We test a lot of systems that are autonomous, and we use AI daily ourselves. One of our value propositions is we don't have it all configured now, but we have an AI engine that can take data and spit out answers that are specific to a client.
It's pretty wild to think that robots will be able to do these medical procedures going forward. And I know to some degree they already are, but that's interesting.
They are, and I saw this, I was in Miami 2 weeks ago, and I saw this for the first time where at the airport, they have wheelchairs that are autonomous. So if somebody gets off an airplane, they have to go to the connecting gate. A wheelchair shows up, they ride in it, and it just takes them there. And I always think of it like, what if somebody hacks in this wheelchair and cause it to run into a bunch of people? What would be the damage that could be done? And we've worked with exoskeletons for people with MS that can help them walk. Same concept. Like, what if somebody hacks this device and it speeds up or takes a misstep and goes off a bridge into the water, for instance?
Right.
Yeah, these things are becoming more and more prevalent, these robots. Even at hotels, I see them, you order room service and the robot brings it to you at certain hotels.
Yeah. Wow. So let's change gears here. I want the audience to be able, the viewers, to go ahead and get to know you a little bit more personally and get to know a little bit more about you. So we're going to go through a lightning. I'll just ask you a question. Give you the first answer that comes to mind. Ready?
Ready.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right. Cats or dogs?
Neither. Dogs, if I had to choose.
Oh, there you go. Okay. If you could only grab one weapon or item during a zombie apocalypse, what would it be?
It'd be a 12-gauge shotgun.
I think that would be effective. Favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
Favorite quote or phrase, one of them I don't remember where I heard it, is that we're much more capable than we think we are.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite movie?
Top Gun.
Favorite streaming series?
Right now, it has been Suits. I've been watching Suits with my fiance.
Okay. Favorite book?
Favorite book is probably, I would say it's my second book, actually, the one I wrote, because it really transformed me going through that process. It's called The In-Between Life and the Micro. It's because I had to really do a lot of deep digging and reflection and change my life in order to write that book. So it was very transformative.
So you're an author too. I didn't know that. It's great.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Last question. It's a two-part question. One bucket list item that you've already accomplished and one that you haven't, but is at the top of your list.
One that I've already accomplished is Ironman Triathlon. There was just one here yesterday in Tempe. I did that race like 10 years ago. I've done 24 Ironmans, so that's a bucket list I've accomplished. I'd like to do some more later on, but yeah, 24 is quite a bit. And something that's still on my bucket list is climbing the rest of the 7 summits. I've done 2 of them so far. I've had to put it on hold for work and other reasons, but getting back to mountaineering and finishing that quest is on the bucket list still.
It's impressive. That's very impressive, actually. All right. The most important question, Christian, is if any of our viewers would like to collaborate with you or get in touch with you, how would they do that?
They can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way, or through my website, bluegoatcyber.com, my business website. My contact information is on there as well.
Christian, hey, thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. It was very interesting. Don't normally get to talk about this very often, if ever, but it was a pleasure to speak with you. Any parting thoughts?
I think the parting thoughts would be kind of along that quote, we're much more capable than we think we are. I think what stops a lot of people is thinking that we can get a lot more done in a year than we really can, but if we just keep at it, you'll realize you can get way more done in 3 years than you ever thought possible. But just keep that in mind.
An inspirational way to end. Thank you very much, Christian.
Thank you, Ron.